Texas A&M banned Plato's Symposium because it contained the myth of androgyny, a story where humans were originally 3 genders instead of 2. But if we're banning ancient texts for gender complexity, we have a problem because Genesis does the same thing. Genesis 1:27 does something grammatically interesting in Hebrew. The verse starts talking about the human as singular, but then in the same breath it says, male and female he created them, suddenly switching to plural. One interpretation from Jewish text is that the original human, Adam, contained both male and female, one being expressing both. The plural them refers to the male and femaleness within the singular Adam. This is from Genesis Rabbah, an early collection of Jewish biblical interpretation from around the 5th century CE. Here's Rabbi Jeremiah ben Eliezer, for example. When God created the first human, he created him androgynous, conflating both male and female. There are rabbis who went further. He taught that Adam had 2 faces, or 2 fronts, male and female joined back to back side by side. So then the creation of Eve wouldn't be pulling a rib from Adam's side, because the Hebrew word here appears 41 times, and in most cases it means side, not rib, as in the sides of the tabernacle, the sides of the Ark of the Covenant. And so many commentators see it as God split this androgynous being down the middle. One side became Adam, one side became Eve. This interpretation solves the apparent contradiction between Genesis 1 and Genesis 2. Genesis 1 says that God created the male and female both at once. But Genesis 2 tells the story of Eve created from Adam's side. Sequential creation, in other words. And the rabbinic tradition here is that both are true. God created a figure containing male and female and then separated them. And here's what's radical about this idea. It means that separation into the binary isn't the original design. It is a secondary act. The primordial human was a unity that transcended male and female. Later Kabbalistic tradition built extensively on this thought. The Zohar, the foundational 13th century mystical text, develops a theology where the union between male and female in marriage is actually the restoration, a return to the original wholeness. The separation of Adam and Eve in this context mirrors the separation in the divine realm itself, and human union becomes a way to heal that cosmic split. In Kabbalistic thought, this would carry through to how you think about the divine. If human is made in God's image, and originally humanity contained both male and female in one, what does that say about God? The masculine and feminine divine principles aren't just a metaphor then, but the actual structure of divine reality. God is trans. And that is ancient Jewish theology, not some modern woke gender theory. This is rabbis in the Talmudic period looking at the grammar of Genesis and saying that the text itself is saying something about human nature that disrupts our understanding of fixed binary gender. In early Christian tradition, Gregory of Nyssa, 4th century church father, taught a version of this. In his work on the making of man, he argued that humans were created in the image of God without sexual distinction. He believed that gender division came later as part of God's response to foreseeing human sin. The original human nature transcended male and female. So when Texas A&M bans Plato for suggesting humans were originally more than 2 genders, they are protecting the lie that binary gender is ancient, natural, and divinely ordained. Because the truth is, gender complexity exists in our foundational texts, in Greek philosophy, in Hebrew scripture, in early Christian theology. The androgyny isn't a threat to tradition, it is the tradition, and they're banning it because that tradition threatens their power. I am Connie Chen, here to help you deconstruct everything. Check out my Patreon for bonus content.